2 Samuel chapter 7 verse 12 says, "How great you are, sovereign Lord! There is no one like you. There is no God but you, as we have heard with our own ears." How Great Thou Art, a Christian hymn based on a Swedish traditional melody and a poem, was written by Carl Boberg in Monsteras, Sweden in 1885. The author himself gave the following information about the inspiration behind his poem. It was that time of the year when everything seemed to be in its richest coloring. The birds were singing in trees and wherever they could find a perch. On a particular afternoon, some friends and I had been to Kronoback, where we had participated in an afternoon service. As we were returning, a thunderstorm began to appear on the horizon. We hurried to shelter. There were loud claps of thunder, and the lightning flashed across the sky. Strong winds swept over the meadows and billowing fields of grain. However, the storm was soon over, and the clear sky appeared with a beautiful rainbow. After reaching my home, I opened my window toward the sea. The church bells were playing the tune of a hymn. That same evening, I wrote a poem which I titled O Stor Gud, which means O Mighty God. It was this series of sights, sounds, and experiences that inspired Carl to write the song. This poem, after being published in a local newspaper, an unknown Swede put O Stor Gud to the tune of a Swedish folk song. In the first decade of the 20th century, the song was translated to German. A handful of years later, a Russian version appeared. The first English version was not yet written until 1925. Later, a Swedish-American, E. Gustav Jonsson, gave its English translation. But it was very different from the song we know today. After a quarter century, a British missionary gave a new translation, which developed the song into its now recognizable form. In the early 1930s, Stuart K. Hine, an English missionary, first heard the Russian version while he was in Ukraine. For years, he and his wife sang the song with locals, before he finally sat down and translated it into English. And so, Hine took some liberties, most particularly with the title, which in 1949 he rechristened How Great Thou Art. Regardless of the many versions, when we reflect upon the various chance encounters that combine to birth this hymn and bring it to prominence, it's hard not to be awed by the sheer improbability of it all. God's grace, which guided the path from O Stor Gud to How Great Thou Art, is nothing if not unlikely.